Cool. It's very nice to meet you all, and I do want to say that it's an honor, and I'm pretty proud to be here talking to you about this subject too. I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool that I get to talk to you guys about innovation, entrepreneurship, new ideas, growing, exploring what's available, different industries. That's totally what I'm all about. When I was sitting in your seat, I, too, was in all AP classes, AP calculus, all that stuff. I was in gifted programs, took courses, probability at MIT. The list goes on. I was supposed to be a mechanical engineer. That's what my mom wanted me to be. It didn't work out quite that way, which I guess is the first thing that I want to tell you, that you're going to find that once you graduate, whatever path that you have set, whatever you kind of have in mind, it may totally go exactly that way, but it may totally not go that way. So I guess one of the most important things that I want you to take with you today is that you have to be malleable. You have to be able to bend and change, turn on a dime, because you never know what's going to happen. The market could change, especially nowadays. It changes like that. So I happen to be in an industry that's cutting edge, that's right there, like on the frontier. I have been forever. The whole time. I started. Okay, so I went to college at USF. I'm from Boston. I'm from the Boston area, and I got accepted to USF, which is a really good mechanical engineering school over in Tampa. And that's what I was supposed to do. So I went over there, and they told me I had to take calculus again. And I was like, "Come on, the calculus again!" I was like, "No way, I have to do that." Because I barely passed the first time, you know what I mean? So I was like, oh my God, I don't want to do that. So then I was all over the place. Then I was taking different courses and different things because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to be a mechanical engineer anymore. Ended up meeting a girl, which sometimes when you meet somebody, that can change your whole life. I do want to say that when I was over in Tampa, here's something cool. When I was over in Tampa, I met Steve, who's in the back there. Steve was also going to USF. So that's where I met Steve. That's how long we've been friends, since I was 19 years old. Okay? So it's a really long time we've been friends. And working together, too. So I met somebody, ended up moving down to South Florida because she wanted to be closer to her parents. So that was now I'm in South Florida. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? Well, I ended up getting a job for an advertising agency. Okay, I got a job as an assistant production manager for an advertising company. Which basically, if you don't know what a production manager does for an advertising agency, that's the person that takes the project from concept to delivery. That's the person that is responsible for assembling the entire project. So I'm the assistant production manager. Okay, I'm 19 years old, 20 at that point. Okay. So I'm 20, now I'm like the assistant production manager. She's pregnant. She takes a maternity leave, never comes back. Now I'm 20 years old. I'm the production manager now for this advertising agency. And everything's thrown in my lap. Everything's crazy. Now, advertising agency's back. This is 92, 93, okay? And advertising agencies back then we didn't have computers. We didn't have digital computers. Everything that you wanted to print, anything that you wanted to print, a magazine, a cover, all this stuff, you needed camera-ready artwork. It was a whole thing. You had to go to a typesetter and set the type, and then the photographer would take his photos, and you'd take them to a special lab, and they'd go through a 4-color process separation. All of this had to be assembled into a big process that took place before computers, okay? So one of the responsibilities of a production manager is they send you on a press check. You have to go to a press check. And what a press check is, because printing like this is done actually with a 4-color process, it goes through a big printer with 4 different wheels, and it goes through. So at the end, it's your job to sit there with it's called a loop, and you look at the first runs, and you see if the dot patterns kind of match up, and you kind of see how close your registration is. That's called a press check. So I'm at a press check for a commercial printer down in Miami. Now, this is 1993 or 94. And this printer is a very new printer to the area. I've been doing this now for a little while, and this particular printer was new, and had been sending me stuff about how they did things a little differently. So I went over there, so I'm going for my press check. And the salesperson, she says, well, Chris, welcome from the company I work for was called Communitechnique. She said, Chris from Communitechnique, come, let me show you why we do things differently. So she walks me into the art department of this press, this printer. And lo and behold, there's about 4 or 5 Macintosh computers in there, right? And she says, this is the way of the future. She says, we do things now with computer graphics. She says, it's this and that and that. And she says, you really should get into computer graphics. And I'm like, holy cow, she's right. So I go back to the ads agency now, and I'm totally inspired. I'm like, oh my God, you guys, we are so, if we do this, then we're going to be at the head of the game, okay? So try and explain to a small mom and pop ad agency that you've got to spend about $3,000 or $4,000 on a computer, and it doesn't go over very well. You know, they're like, we don't really have the budget for that. I'm like, you guys, it's important, you know. My parents bought me one. That's how important it was. My parents bought me a computer, and they said, you're really into that? I said, yes, I am. They said, well, here, I'm going to buy you one. They bought me a 2DX, which was one of the first Mac computers that had a CD-ROM drive. It was very cutting edge. So I'm telling this company, I'm trying to learn. I'm teaching myself. There's nothing available. The only thing I find some courses at BCC, Broward Community College. I don't think they even call it BCC anymore. But they had some Photoshop classes and Quark Express classes and stuff like that. Things that you could learn so that you could get into digital layout and stuff like that. So I started taking those classes, right? I'm not even, at this point, I'm not even going for a degree anymore. I'm just trying to soak up as much information as I possibly can, okay? So I start teaching myself, and now at this point, I have to leave Communitechnique because they just won't do it. They won't do it. So I have to leave. I give them my notice, and I go and I find the most cutting-edge advertising agency that there is. And I find this agency. These guys got an army of Power Macs. They've got their own printer that's like the size of this wall. And print out giant. I mean, these guys are very, very cutting edge. Sinwin Corporation, they were called. If you know the round building over on the corner of Oakland Park and US 1, they used to take up an entire floor. They were very, very, very cutting edge. Very cool guys, too. You walk into their lobby and they had all these wolf statues wearing tuxedos. That was kind of cool. So, anyway, so I worked with them for a while. Sunk my teeth into digital marketing, digital graphics, and stuff like that. Really started to get good at it, okay? And then I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to start my own company. Oh, whoa, right? I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? I'm like, okay, I want to make money with the internet, but I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to make, nobody knows how to make money. I'm going to find somebody that knows how to make money on the internet. So I did some research and I found a book. How to Make Money on the Internet. It was literally what it was called. And it told me, it said there's 3 different models, there's 3 different ways that you can make.
What year was this?
This is probably 95, 96 now, okay? 95, 96. So, how to make money with the internet. So, there's 3 different ways to make money with the internet. You guys should remember this. This still holds true to today, okay? You can sell a product, okay? I could have ABC table manufacturing. I could sell my tables to you guys, okay? Or I could have a subscription service, okay? You pay ABC Table Company $10, $15 a month, and you get to keep the table in your office, okay? Or, the third way to make money with the internet is I have a website that has all the information about tables you could possibly have, and it's free. You can go there and you can find out all you want about tables. And guess what I do? I sell advertising on my website. So those are the 3 models. That's how to make money on the internet. Those are 3 ways. Advertising, subscriptions, or you sell a product. And that's what I took from this book. So I'm like, okay, well, what's my model going to be? Okay, so I'm like, what am I going to do? I didn't have a product. So, and I did know a lot about the city of Fort Lauderdale. Okay? Because I was kind of, I've always been an artsy guy. I've always hung out with musicians. I'm a musician myself. I hang out with a lot of artists, so I kind of know what's going on around town. You know what I mean? So I said, that's something I know. Okay? A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people would like to know what's going on around town. A lot of people, this is before Google, mind you, okay? Because Google didn't exist. So what we had is we had what was called portal websites. So I built a portal website called FortLauderdaleNow.com. And it was an informational website about Fort Lauderdale. It told, if you didn't know about Fort Lauderdale, it told you all the beaches, all the parks, what to do. I went around town. I got schedules from all the local bars and restaurants, who was playing where. I updated it all the time, and I sold advertising. And it started to work, and I started to make some money doing this. But I had this is 95, 96, and I don't know if you guys, of course you don't know anything about this, nobody had websites. Nobody had websites, so here I am going to a restaurant, and I'm going, hey, would you like to advertise on my website? And they're like, that'd be great, but we don't have a website. Can you build this one? And I'm like, fine. So I started building websites, right? And then that changed me a little bit, because that was a big chunk of change that I would get for building the website. Now I was selling something. So I was like, okay, now I'm selling something, and I got my advertising thing, and I've got a subscription service. I was kind of like, had like some different models I was kind of juggling at the same time here. And a lot of people started asking me if I could build their websites. And so I started to get really good at building websites. And in fact, there was a brand new technology out called Flash, which I think you guys don't even use anymore. But back then, it was the thing. Flash was cool. So I started learning Flash in the beginning, all right? And ActionScript, and I started teaching myself how to code. I just kept going deeper. I'm like you guys, where I just can't get enough, and I need more. Just keep shoving the information in my brain, because I want more. And just when you think that's enough, I need more. And there's more things I can, oh my God, I'm awake. There's something I can learn. I'll teach myself Japanese. You know what I mean? It's like that, okay? So so that's what started. So I started getting really good at building websites. And then my business kind of changed a little bit. It was the advertising model that I was doing was working, but it was difficult at that particular point in time. It was difficult to show metrics. You could do a thing where you could insert a tag and stuff like that, but it was still a little cumbersome, and it wasn't really. It was an inefficient use of my time. So I kind of started to move away from that model and started to get into building and delivering that stuff. You understand? So I changed on a dime, just like I said, because you never know what's going to happen. And keep in mind, I started off as a mechanical engineer. You know what I mean? So here I am. So now I'm building websites. I'm doing this. I'm getting really good at it. And now I got someone's attention. I got the Las Olas Association. If you don't know what the Las Olas Association is, it is one of the most powerful merchant associations down here in South Florida. It's run by the Wells family, Wells Fargo, that's the Wells family, and they own like pretty much all of Las Olas Boulevard, okay? And they rent all those stores you see in all those galleries, all those restaurants, they all pay Las Olas companies rent, okay? That's their business model, and they are quite successful at it. But they hired me. They wanted the Las Olas Merchant Association wanted to build a website for Las Olas Boulevard. Okay. Now I had once seen a website that had this thing. I couldn't remember what it was called, a virtual tour. That's what it was. It was a virtual tour. So I said, I found this company, and I looked at their website, and I'm looking at it, and they've got like maybe 5 or 6 samples on their website. And they're sailboats, okay? They're yachts. They have one real estate sample. And this is in 96, okay? 96, 97. So I hire this company. I contract this company for my job, okay? I built the website, but I contract this company to do the virtual tour part, okay? So, you farm it out, okay? So I farmed out, they farmed it out, marked it up. That's how you guys probably all learned this in school, okay? Farmed it out, marked it up, turn around and sell it, okay? So I did that, and they did a horrible job. It was horrible. It was horrible. They used this camera. It was back then. What you'd do is you would you'd have the tripod, okay, and you'd have the camera facing up, okay, and then the camera would shoot up at a mirror through this hole, and outside was a bell with a reflective surface, Okay? So it would shoot up, reflect down, hit the bell, and then the bell would capture. It was called a one-shot. Okay? So that's what this company used. Now, the thing with the one-shot's great. Okay? But if you have an inexperienced photographer who's not dialing it in at each particular point, you can get your exposures all over the place. That's what happened to me on this job that I sold for 40 grand. Yeah. So I'm like, and now they deliver it, and I'm like, oh my God. So there was a lot of back and forth. And eventually the customer was happy. Okay. And what I did, it was very, very cutting edge. What I did was I built this. It was a tour that you could turn down Las Olas Boulevard. Check this out. Turn down Las Olas Boulevard. And you could click. And you could go down the street. And then you could turn and face the business and click and go into their website. You guys call it Street View now, okay? Because that's pretty much what I did, okay, back in '96, okay? The only difference is with me, you went to the website, okay? So that was super cutting edge, but I saw this as an amazing opportunity, and you guys should recognize it too, okay? Because that's what it is. Because these guys were supposed to be the best, and they sucked. Okay? So, sorry I used that word. Sorry. It really stunk. Okay? So, all I had to do was be better than them. Right? Okay, that was it. So, I found the best technology that there was. We're looking at it right here. I found the best technology there was. It was a company called iPix out of Oak Ridge, Tennessee. If you don't know what Oak Ridge, Tennessee is famous for, it's nuclear weapons. Oak Ridge, Tennessee is where they secretly developed and tested nuclear weapons, and it was a government secret for many, many years. It's not a secret anymore. That's why I'm telling you about it. But that's what was in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And also iPix University was in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Okay? And I went to iPix University, which I call it iPix University because that's what they called it. And basically what they did is they put me through a developer program where they taught me how to use their technology. And their technology was simple. They had this camera. This guy, Ford Axel, had developed it. It was the very first virtual reality camera that this guy developed. Okay? And it was not a one-shot. This one was a two-shot. Okay? And what it does is you aim it in one direction, and with this big goggle-eye lens, you take a photograph. And then you turn the camera 180 degrees, and then you take a picture in this way. So what you have is what you've created these two hemispheres, okay, that you digitally sew together and create a sphere, okay? And so this guy, Ford Axel, developed this, and he said, so with my technology, he said, you're in the center of the sphere looking out at the outer wall. It was genius, right? So I was like all about that. I'm like, oh my God. So I did it. I got in. This camera is 4 megapixels. That was a joke, okay? 4 megapixels was a lot back then, okay? It was like, oh, holy cow, 4 megapixels, oh my God, right? 4 megapixels. Wow. Take a minute to soak that in. This is 95, 96.
How much did it cost?
Oh, it was a little over $2,000. A little over $2,000. This is back in 95, 96, okay? Now, just to give you an idea of how awesome this was during this time, I have developed this really nice presentation to show you what it was like on the internet in 95, 96. You guys want to see what it was like?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. You need a volunteer.
that minute. That's what it was like on the internet. Really cool, right? Because everyone was on 28K modems. So it took like a minute to download anything cool, okay? And that's what I was doing. It took that long. If you wanted to see one of my virtual tours, it took that long to download. Okay? So everyone's telling me I'm crazy. They're telling me I'm nuts, okay? But I had read in a magazine that they were just about to come out with 56K. Ooh. Okay? Now, the thing is you have to understand what I spotted. I spotted an opportunity, again, okay? Because I didn't care that it was taking a minute to download. I didn't care. Because I knew that they were going to improve the bandwidth. So I knew that if I kept being the best at the business, that when the rest of the world caught up to me, I was going to be sitting pretty nice. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of ahead of the curve kind of thinking that you had to do. You guys got to do the same thing, okay? Ahead of the curve. It's like chess. You got to think like 5, 6. I love chess. I don't know if you guys like chess. I love a good game of chess, man. One of the things I love about chess is you got to think 5, 6 moves ahead, right? You think ahead. You got to think ahead of the curve. Where's that? Don't look at where it's going in that linear fashion. Look at where it's going to be, and that's where you want to be. You got what I'm saying? Because it's going to take you a while to set up, and it's going to take you a while to get there. It's going to take you a while to be the best. And it's going to take you a while to get that reputation. So when you get there, so when everyone else catches up to you, and finally that linear thing catches up, and all of a sudden everyone's like, whoa, hey, it's 2018, and everyone has broadband. Well, guess who's sitting here with 20 years of experience doing this? You get what I'm saying? I got a phone call from Google. I want a job in Palm Springs because I'm the best at my business. And what I'm doing now at this point, now I'm flying around, okay, shooting jets, yachts, $1 million homes, fancy hotels. I got put up by the government of Peru. I went through Peru and stayed in all 5-star Orient Express hotels and rode the Hiram Bingham train because I coupled 2 jobs together. And rode the Hiram Bingham train, first class, okay, through the Sacred Valley, okay, eating ceviche, okay, while I'm on my way to Machu Picchu, where I was getting paid to go do a virtual tour and build this interactive virtual tour of Machu Picchu, staying at the only hotel that's at the top of the mountain. It's $1,000 a night. I'm staying here. Yeah, exactly. You get what I'm saying? Okay? So I'm having fun. And I get a phone call. I'm at a job in Palm Springs working at a hotel. And Google calls me up. Hi, is this Christopher Hooper? I'm in the middle of the job. And I go, yes, this is Christopher Hooper. I always answer my phone. You guys should do that too. Always answer your phone. It's good business. To always be available to your customers, you always answer your phone. Even if you're in the middle of something, you can tell them to hold on, or you'll call them back because you don't want to be rude. But it's very important that you always show them that kind of attention to detail, okay? So I answer the phone. Yes, this is Christopher Hooper. Oh, hi, Chris. Yes, hi. My name's Janine Lovins from Google, and I wanted to talk to you about... I'm like, oh, God, I think it's a sales call. I'm like, yeah, Janine, make it quick. How can I help you? Okay. And she goes, and she could hear that in my voice. And she said, I don't think you understand. She said, are you Christopher Hooper, the virtual reality photographer and developer? I said, yeah. And now I realize that this might actually be Google. So I said, yes. And she said, well, I'm Janine Lovins from Google. And we're going to do this new program where we're going to start doing virtual tours. We're going to start doing Street View inside of businesses, and we want to know if you can help us build this program. Like, are you kidding me? I have been waiting my entire life for this phone call. Yes, no problem. There you go, you know what I mean? So it's kind of an interesting story of how I kind of got involved in that whole thing. And so now, since then, 2012 I started, and so for the past 6 years I've been working with Google Maps Street View, and I've been developing the whole program here. We've got photographers now, Steve and I, and I brought Steve, and I brought Steve come back there. Steve rode in the car the entire time. No, Steve did not. Steve ended up coming back. I had been working with Google for a little while. It was getting busier, and I needed a salesperson. I needed a salesperson. Steve and I, out in Tampa, one of the things that we did together is we were in sales together. And I knew that Steve was really good at sales. You know what I mean? So Steve calls me up out of the blue at the same exact time that I'm looking for the salesperson. And he says, hey, Hoop, I just moved over here to the East Coast, and I'm looking for a gig if you know anybody. Are you kidding me, Steve? I'm like, how do you think about working with me? He's like, what? So I sent him links to all my stuff. And he went and looked at it, and he's like, holy cow, that's what you've been doing this whole time? I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been doing. So that's how Steve came back into the picture. So now Steve and I have been just killing it and having a lot of fun doing this kind of stuff. And that's how I came to this point, That's my story. That's what I was told that you guys wanted to hear a story about entrepreneurship and about how an idea came from just concept to fruition. So now that's what we do. Now we have photographers all over the country. We're selling Google tours. And you guys are more than welcome to look this stuff up in your own time. I bought them all. VirtualToursForJets.com, VirtualToursForYachts.com, VirtualToursForHotels.com, VirtualToursForSchools.com, VirtualToursForRVs.com. I own them all. Okay, so go ahead and check them out on your own leisure. Just like think about that topic; it's not hard to remember, and which is another thing you want to do. Always make sure your URLs are easy to remember. Okay. Also, another thing you want to do: put your URL into your company name, because then everyone has to say the whole URL every time they say your company name. They have to say the whole. They have to say it. You know what I mean? They go, BlueRavenStudios.com. But I got him to say it. So there's all kinds of, I could sit here and tell you guys all kinds of good stuff because I've been in the trenches for years and I've learned all kinds of good stuff. And I share a lot of it with Steve. So maybe I can come back and do that some other time because I enjoyed this tremendously. So I brought some fun things to show you, just to kind of share with you. This is where we used to be, okay? This is like a 4-megapixel camera. And then that progressed, that two-shot progressed and changed into, this is what I currently use now for Google Jobs. This is an actual, it's like a street view camera, okay? And it shoots in 4 directions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shoots four quadrants, and I digitally sew them together into a sphere. It's to say that the idea hadn't changed, okay? But I shoot those 4 quadrants into a sphere. And it's got a similar goggle-eye lens, not quite as big as this one here, which I brought an extra one. I thought it would be kind of fun to pass it around if you guys wanted to take a look. You can kind of like look through, and you can see like what the camera sees, and it's really crazy because it's